So if you use blue a lot, maybe you want to use a color that you don't use very often to see the invisible characters. So you might want to like a green or a yellow. This is how you change that. And once again, like all the color formats, you could actually click the magnifying glass and pick a color from outside of the outside of that window. In this case, I'm going to keep this color. I do like it. So I'm going to close that out. Change tracking, the author. So if I do track changes, which we'll talk about in a later time in detail, it will list that those changes were done by Michael Kennedy. So if you like to be called Mr. Kennedy, or you like to be called Mr. ABC or Mrs. A, B, and C, or Miss, you can have that. You can change this. We could say, instead of Michael, I could say Mr. Kennedy. But I'm going to leave it for Michael for right now. Deleted text, when we're in track changes, I should point out we're in track changes. Deleted text, if I delete something out, it won't actually delete it. It will just do a strike through. It'll put a line through it. And inserted text, I could make it tell it to underline. In this case, I just want to leave it alone. Okay, rulers, our next tab. The default zoom is 125%. We could change that default to 100%, to 50%, scale it down. Rulers in units, we can do inches, centimeters, point, pixels. That's really important for people who are doing a lot of web graphics and whatnot. They need to know the exact pixels that are available. Place origin in the center of the rulers. So in other words, the ruler would start in the middle, start 0 here, and then go number out that way, and then number the other direction. Enable vertical rulers in word processing documents. If I click that, we can see the vertical ruler appear. In the alignment guides, again, you could pick the color of the alignment guides. You could also choose a crayon color if you prefer. And show guidelines and object edges. If I turn that on, we should see, when you select an object, you see the guidelines appear, and it will link to the rulers. I don't particularly care for those. I'm going to leave them off. And here's a great piece. Auto correction. We can tell the computer to use smart quotes. It will ignore things that are in quotes. Fix capitalization. When you hover over these, you'll see that a word actually appears explaining what each one are. Automatically detect email and web addresses. If you don't like it when you type in a web address or an email address to somebody and it turns into a hyperlink and it drives you crazy, this is where you turn that feature off. It will, if you turn this off and I go to the document and I type in www.google.com and I hit enter, that is not a web link. So if I go back here and I turn this on, automatically detect webmail, and I go here and I retype this, .com, enter, you can see it has turned into a web link now. See, and I click on this, it'll actually go straight to Google. So I actually like that on. Some people, it drives them crazy, but I'm going to show you at a later time exactly how you move around that, and you can work with those active hyperlinks in both email and web addresses. Automatically detect list. If you don't like it when you're typing a list of something and it automatically starts bulleting that list, you can turn that feature off right here. Automatically use spell checker in suggestions. That's pretty self-explanatory. Symbol and text substitutions. This is a powerful little feature. I don't have it turned on, but I'm actually going to leave it on. It has some examples here for parentheses C, within parentheses, we'll change it to the copyright symbol. So if I click down in here, I'm going to show you what this actually looks like. I'm going to go ahead and go parentheses C space. You can see that it actually turned into a copyright symbol. If we go back here and bring out the preferences pane, we've got some others here. Like right now, if we typed in 1/2, it would get that bar. There we go. 1/2, it would stay that way. But if we go ahead and check off this here for this symbol in character substitution, and we do 1/2, if I did it again, there we go, 1/2, there we go. You can see it's shrunk it down just like it said it would over here. In this case, it has one of the most common spelling errors for people keyboarding, TEH, which really doesn't mean anything, to change it with THE. So I'm going to go ahead and turn these on. I do like this feature. I haven't turned it on previously, but I'm going to go ahead and select these and tell these to stay on. Now, I do want to point out right here, these little buttons at the bottom, you can add your own characters. So if you have a couple keystrokes that you have, that's something that you use all the time, let's say you wanted a special character to appear here, you can actually go in and do the keyboard shortcut here and tell it that if you type in, let's say, the first 3 letters for pi and then hit 3 dots afterwards, it would actually put in the pi symbol for you. So it's a great little feature, especially for math and science teachers who oftentimes are using these symbols and characters and they want them to appear magically. So that's how you make them appear magically. Okay, that covers the system preferences. And if we go back to File, back to Pages, I'm sorry, we have some more choices here, and that is providing feedback. This window here actually has to do with registration of pages and trying out iWork. I already subscribed to iWork. I already have paid, registered my Pages document, my iWork applications, so I don't actually have to go through this. These are already covered for you in your MLTI books. Services. Services is a great piece in that, a great tool because it links to many other things within inside your applications folder. In this case, you can see some of the programs that I have installed here. I can send this document straight to a Chinese converter. I can send it to a font book. I can import images. I can send it to a text editor. I can send it to a speech engine and have the computer start speaking it to me. I'm going to get into services at a different time when I'm going to talk specifically about how to make all these services work for you and how you get the most out of the services tab and how you can add things and take things out of services to make it work a little faster for you. Hiding pages and hiding others and showing all. If you want certain pages hidden because you're dealing with hundreds and hundreds of pages, you're building maybe an encyclopedia and you want to hide multiple chapters, you can actually select those pages and hide them in here. And of course, quit pages will actually quit the program. And I think we're all familiar with that. So that's the Pages menu tab. Come on back and we're going to talk about the File menu.